some really good entries and transitions into the 50.
Yeah, they have. But I look by the numbers, Tim. They've both had about the same amount of chances, and Black have been able to potentially use the ball a bit more full ground and been able to take that to score, and that's probably why they got the 3 or 4 goal buffer that they have now. But they're pretty even teams around the contest. White team around the contest and stoppage have been able to score from stoppage, but Black have done theirs more in transition, so it's a bit of a balance.
And Dixon appeared to be playing up, and Todd back. I like that too. That seemed to work.
Yeah, well, I think they're learning to play more and more every time they get out there together, and how it works for them both. And whether that is Charlie back, Charlie forward.
Oh, good courage.
And that's a great hit there, isn't it? And Ollie's got one from Joel Garner, but you expect nothing less from Joel. That's the way he goes at the footy. And Ol, as he does, gets up and goes and tries to hurt someone else.
Well, how good's that to see? We're a minute into the second half of an internal trial, and Joel Garner has ran through Ollie Wines. Ollie didn't take his eye off the footy, neither did Joel. And, well, that's exactly what the coach and the coaching group want to see. So Schofield to Bergman. Beautiful kick under pressure. He found Woodcock at right half forward. The white team kicking towards the southern end. So Woodcock pumps it inside, 50, looking for a target up there. Free kick, no umpire says play on. And Carl Amon, who's just had the ball on a string today, kicks towards half-back to Stephen Motlop. Well done again by Garner. Dixon casts in the role of Rover, gives it back to Motlop, who chips to Connor Rosie on centre wing.
Here we go. This will be a good entry. The kick's looking for Robbie Gray. Coming back with the flight. Robbie has to go back and do the hard work. Ground level.
It's got a bit of Carter about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, lovely. Handling himself well there. Willem Drews handled out the back door to Hamish Hartlett. Hamish Hartlett just a little dink into the back pocket. And Bergman once again will relieve from the back pocket.
We spoke to CD, Kenny, about Bergman. He looks like he's put on a lot of strength, particularly in the upper body.
Yeah, he's grown into a man really quickly, Miles, and he's a great physical size, as you can see out there, and he's got real power, and he's one of those players that I talk about a lot that didn't get any opportunity last year based on COVID, and there's some exciting stuff for the people who are listening at home. You got him, Williams, Mead. There's a number of players who you haven't actually seen yet, and they're going to be exciting.
Ball thumped forward by Lycett towards half forward. Williams there. He's got an unusual sort of unfashionable sort of style, hasn't he, young Dylan Williams? But I tell you what, from all reports, can play.
I've actually seen you run, Norts, and you look a lot worse, let me tell you.
Well,
but his gait is a little unusual.
Enough said, yeah. But I mean, it's got a style about him.
Yeah, I think Ken says don't throw stones. I think
no, fair call. Fair call.
That was one of the clearest throws I've ever seen in a game of football. Yeah. Tom Rockcliffe just shoveled that out.
As the throw disappeared, as it disappeared out the game.
The amount of effort and contest that goes on around the ball, it's really, it'd be a hard job to do, wouldn't it, as an umpire, to get it right very often, I'd imagine.
Couple of rule changes, Kenny, just to pick your brain about. I mean, the stand statue type setup. Obviously, the players have been briefed and coached and worked on that. We've seen it a couple of times today where you could sort of peel off really quickly, the man with the ball. How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, look, I don't think it'll be as big an influence as people. There's an opportunity with Ollie just stand with the ball and hold the ball. You get a little bit more space around, but in the corridor, I think teams naturally go reasonably quick anyhow, and I don't think it'll be that big a problem. You'll see it's a little bit more on the outside of the ground where you'll get an opportunity to use it. Maybe slow play inside forward 50 a little bit, but I don't think it'll be as damaging to the game as people think. I'm personally not sure why we brought it in, but that's not my decision.
That's the mystery for me. I'm not sure that we had a problem, but we fixed whatever it was.
Yeah, well, obviously it's all about increasing scoring, obviously, to get the scoreboard ticking over, but, how that contributes, you move the ball on quicker, I guess, but...
Think of other things.
Talk about scoring. Connor Rhodes is about to slot through his third. Now, I'm told I can't get too excited. About Connor, but he's kicked his third. What a first half and the first 3 quarters, Kenny.
A football list has 42 players on it, Daniel, don't you?
I know.
And we're in the lucky position that we've got a really strong football team at the moment. We've got really good depth in our football team. It's amazing how some people just get attracted to one or two individuals. As the coach, I'm just so happy to have a big list of really talented players to work with.
What about your duffel coat now? You're going to have to change it.
Well, I used to have Greg Anderson, then Tim Ginnivan, and now
you liar.
Connor Rosie. I'll have to change that. I might change it to
What I liked
Bergman.
about that was they got the ball inside Houston's hands, and we just saw the benefit of his kicking. His kicking's elite, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a nice bit of play when it was a transition bit of play where the ball moved from one end of the ground from the back 50 into our forward 50, and we converted, which is that's been the thing that we've spent a lot of time working on, is getting our execution inside forward 50 a little bit better. We understand that we play a different brand of football to some sides, and we're going to have to deal with a lot of numbers in front of us at times, and we deal with that.
So what will be the Port Adelaide brand, Kenny? Well, our members listening at home now or at the ground now, what will be? Will there be a distinct style? Any change from last year? Will they notice anything different?
No. Look, you'll see some development of our players, but we play an aggressive brand of football. That's why Port Adelaide's always played football: aggressive physically, aggressive with the ball, and aggressive defensively. And we want to maintain that, and we don't want to take any backward steps when it comes to playing the game with aggression and physicality, and that's Port Adelaide.
What I've liked today is most of the shots have been well within the 50, so they've sort of been around that 45-degree angle and no more than 30 out. That's the way the ball's been able to come in at both ends.
Yeah, and clearly that's what we're trying to get, Tim, but we sometimes worry as coaches at training that our ball movement is quick and sharp and fast, but at training you'll find that the game's played with a little less risk in mind, I reckon. And when the boys get to game day, they can feel the pressure of a game and performance, so they maybe tighten up a little bit. We've got to get to the point where we don't let that game tighten us up, and we just play with the freedom that we've shown today that we can do very well.
So the players have been thrown around a little bit after half time. Well, how do you measure success today, Ken, in terms of the way you see things? Obviously, no injuries. We spoke to Chris about that a little bit earlier, but how do you measure, a good hit out?
Yeah, we'll measure it. As you said, no injuries. We'll measure it also on performance of team and individual. We'll measure it on structure. We'll measure it on the way we want to play and the way we've trained over the summer, because we've made some little tweaks to what we do over the summer. We want to see them come out here today, and more importantly, I want to see that I've got a list of 35 to 40 players that give me confidence that we've got a great squad to pick from. And look, that's the type of footy you want to see Port Adelaide play there right now. And have a look at the people that are involved. And when it gets into Rosie's hands and it gets to Robbie Gray and it gets Fantasia starts it off in the middle and Georgiades finishes it off. So we're spoiled with volume, and I think that's what we need. If you're a good side, you have a lot of players that can play and a lot of players who want to play, and that's great for me, because we said before when we were chatting that they need to get their own spot and they need to earn their own spot, and this is their opportunity for the next month.
That's the great thing. Always round one, it's a bottleneck, isn't it? Everybody's fit, everybody's raring to go. You got a bottleneck, you pick your best 22 that you think you're going to go with. But the beauty this year is we get to play at the SNFL level. We get the Magpies back into it. These guys can go out there and play, really good football. Big game, first one too, playing Nord
at
the
parade.
Parade. So that'll be awesome. And it's just such a better structure, isn't it, when you're able to get those lads playing there?
Yeah, you want them to get better, but you also want them to learn to win, and learn to fight for a spot. And that's, for us, for the Magpies and the history is that playing Norwood at the Parade is no better spot to get a bit of a taste on how to play the football. So, it's the whole system of having the Magpies back. But we all understand why and how that all happened. That we had a world that was messed up with COVID, and sooner we can get it back to normal. And I'm not sure. We're still seeing it now. I'm not sure we're going to get absolutely perfect 21, but let's hope that we can get closer to 21 to normal.
Yeah, spoke to Chris Davies about that. I said that flexibility and ability to be able to change on a 2-bob bit's going to have to continue.
Yeah, and Tim, we have our players thinking now and ready and thinking about what might happen if something happened in South Australia, because it's happening in WA, it's happening in Sydney, it's happening in Melbourne. Yeah. We can't expect to get away with that, so we just got to understand that that's what we have to be ready for. Our players are almost got an attitude of have the bag packed near the door just in case, or have the house set up ready to go in case we have to train from home. So we think we're as well prepared as we can be, but you never know until you get to that point.
The main thing, and the example was last year, it was the attitude of which the whole club addressed it. There was no whining, whinging. It was just like, this is it, and we're in it. We're dealing with it. And it's been, that carried us through the whole year with that same attitude. It was excellent.
Yeah, it did give us a great opportunity to embrace the challenges, and we took on the season that way. We took on the opportunity, and to our credit, bar 6 points, perhaps in a prelim final on a wet, shitty night at Adelaide Oval, we nearly got where we wanted to go, but we'll get there this year.
Big Mitchie's just kicked his second. Correct. Nice kick from 45 out, deep in the pocket there. So
2-2.
2-2, and the black team kick away 11-3-69 to the white team 4-3-27. If you just tuned in, you're listening to the Port Adelaide Football Club live stream of the internal trial, the annual internal trial from Alberton Oval. Thanks to our great friends at RAA. Ken, we know you've got to get back to the coach's box in a second. I'll just ask you one quick one before you go. Your best 22, you'd be thinking at night, you're thinking, goodness gracious, great problem to have. Does it keep you up?
No, it makes me smile.
Yep.
It does make me smile. And I said to the boys on Thursday morning, and the next month's really important for them to earn their spot and to get their spot in the side. That'll take care of itself. As silly as it sounds, it feels and looks hard for us, but it'll take care of itself by performance. And if we're a footy club that's any good, you protect the opportunity by playing well, and that's what these blokes need to do, and that's what they're out here today to do, and start their opportunity to get in the side for round one. It's great, and I see the fans on the other side of the ground. It's just good to see, let them see how many players are here that potentially can play AFL football this year.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ken. Thanks for your time, and good luck in 2021, my friend.
Thanks, boys.
And ball in the hands of Dan Houston. I gave a shout out to our Victorian friends in lockdown at the moment, watching the streaming, but a lot of fans around the country, all our interstate fans and around the world. Port Adelaide, it's worldwide. Don't you worry about that. And a special mention of Viv. G'day, Viv. There's your shout out, mate. You wanted it, I gave it to you. It's what it's about. It's about the people. Port Adelaide. And players fight for the ball. It's Burton. Just got a little toe poke to it, but Bergman cleans that up. Gets it to Jack Strange on his left. Shoots it out. Farrell one-handed, but then goes Powell Pepper without the footy. Over the boundary line she goes. And it'll be thrown in centre wing out of side of Alberton Oval.
Tim, we've got another special guest.
Hi, mate.
We've got very informed defender, of course, at the back end of last year, Trent McKenzie.
Well, why is he standing with us? What's going on?
He can talk us through it right now. Cannon, you've got a bit of a sore thigh.
Yes, unfortunately, copped a little corky from Toddy Marshall on Thursday at training, so just a bit too close to game day to be running out there, which is unfortunate because I was ready to go.
At least it's only a corky, mate.
That's it.
Thing with corkies is they can get serious if they can, but God, they're sore. But
First 48 hours, you got to look after it.
You're back within a couple, certainly a week or two. So, what have you liked today, Trent?
Yeah, I've liked that it's been so close. Both sides have really fought it out pretty well. I've liked up forward, Mitchie Georgiadis, Toddy Marshall, Charlie taking some nice clunks. But also in midfield, and not even Birdo down back. It's all around the ground, which has been good.
Tell us about these internal trial games, and of course you do a lot of match simulation now, Trent, at the club anyway. Great tackle again. I mean, are they challenging in that you're up against your teammates and take us into that environment when you've got to stand a Charlie Dixon or a Mitch Georgiadis?
Yeah, it is tough because everyone really knows what's going on and all the game plans and the setups like that. So it's tough in that aspect, and also it's the first real hit out we have before we start the season. So everyone's up and about and ready to crack into it. So it's normally a solid hit out physically. So we've seen that the boys have really cracked in today and looking good.
We've got the date set for the March long weekend. We're playing in WA as we speak today. We also get to play a scratch match against the Crows. Is there a date for that yet? Or?
Look, it's loosely February 27, 28 that weekend. I think the 27th, which is a fortnight from today. The exact starting time and location, I think the two clubs are still working towards, but certainly a fortnight from today. And then, of course, as you point out, March the 7th, we're still due to go over and play West Coast in that Amy community game. But, yeah, so Cannon, you'll definitely be back in a fortnight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be raring to go. If I get picked, because it's tight down there. It's good to see everyone trying to put up their hand.
How does it feel? How does it make it? You've got, Aaliyah coming in. You've got Lockie Jones in that sort of back six mix. I mean, competition for spots, that's what builds great teams. Yeah,
that's it. It's exciting times for us. We've seen Aaliyah do some nice things and Jonesy, as you said, crashing the pack. So it's an exciting time for the footy club. But if we can keep everyone out there and gelling, we'll be fine.
Congratulations too on your year last year. I know you're very humble, but I mean, that you completed the back end of 2019 in really good form, particularly for the Maggies. I remember through that final series, you were brilliant in the second semi, and unfortunately went down in the grand final. But you know, you played a wonderful role in that back half of 2019, which you took into 2020. I mean, what do you put down to the transformation around that sort of last 18 months to?
Yeah, I suppose just not giving up. Always back myself in to play AFL footy, and it's good to be back out there playing some consistent footy. So not to give up, training hard. I've worked pretty hard to get back out there, and also get my body right as well. It's a tough game, AFL footy, so you got to be ready to go and ready to run out full games. So just being physically fit to go, and being confident. That's been a big help.
Having played both AFL Sandford, we just saw a ball come off the boot and go out of bounds. The last touch rule, do you like it or don't like it? You've played both.
Well, as a defender, I don't really like it because the ball's coming in quick with the reset. But
yes, good point.
It does speed it up a bit, and I suppose if you're not a defender, it's good to watch because the ball's continually in play and speeds the game right up. So I don't mind it.
I heard someone talking on radio on SCN yesterday, and your name was mentioned as a potential future punter in the NFL. Believe it or not, actually, the name eludes me. A former player, and he said, "Well, Trent McKenzie's just the sort of man that could get into some serious punting post-footy career."
Need a manager?
Ever crossed your mind?
It has a little bit. I've tried to concentrate and get back out and play.
Of course,
footy, firstly, but I suppose something does interest me post-career, maybe.
Ben Graham style.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I reckon Sav Rocker did it too, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did.
There's been a few over there.
Because you've kicked the great man here next to us, Timmy, has kicked a football over the Port Adelaide headquarters. Now, we measured it as being about 67 metres, but it's not just the length of the kick, it's the height to get over and clear the roof.
That was the part of the training.
Yeah, well, that was day one when he came here. I'm not sure if Ian McInerney, McEwen was all that pleased with it. But anyway, we snuck it through and got through okay, didn't we, Cannon?
Yeah.
So Fantasia gives it to Boak here inside 50. Gee, Orazio's been electric again around the body from 35 metres out, and he's hit the aluminium. He's hit the post, but gee, he's been alive. What's he brought, Trent?
Mate, he's been fantastic. He's been one of the standouts for me over the pre-season. Just experience, his speed. Similar to Stevie Motlop, they're playing a similar role, so I think he'll be crucial for us this year. I think he's been injury-free over the pre-season, so hopefully that keeps up. But
part of that allows the likes of Butters and Rosie to get more on-ball time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Zach might have started in the middle to start this quarter in the stronger side, so yeah, it does allow them to free up a little bit. As Rosie gets the ball now, he's another one.
Here he is again. Orazio having a shot at goal. He won't miss two in a row. No,
Never.
he won't. And he's nailed his second. So he's kicked 2-goal-1 today, and the black team just scooting away at the moment from the white. 72 playing 27. And they're starting to really move the ball quite slickly. But when he gets hold of it, and what I've noticed is he's a beautiful, clean, one-take player. But with that pace, it just breaks lines, doesn't it?
It's hard to defend. Those sorts of players, hard to stop, especially when they get it out the back as well.
And that was a good example.
Yep.
So just for context, the first half was a very evenly matched sides between black and white. And if you just tuned in after half-time, players have been thrown around a little bit. So it's really, I guess, with all due respect, it's sort of more possibles versus probables at the moment, even though there's obviously a lot of quality still on that white team. I
did see Scott Lycett rucking for the white team. He won't be happy with you.
Oh, I wouldn't. That's why I sort of massaged it a little bit the way I said it. Yeah, no, he's bigger than me, and then. No, don't mention that at all. See, I'll rewind that. But that's so that's why the score might be blowing out a little bit here in the second half. It's a 51-point lead to the Blacks, 78 to the Whites, 27 at the moment. But Alir, he takes a mark there. Tell us about Alir's impact on the group.
Yeah, he's been good ever since he crossed over. It did take a little while. I think he had a problem with his jaw when he first got over, so it took a couple of weeks for him to get out of quarantine and get into training with the boys. But he's been superb. He's fitted in like a glove, and he looks like he's playing with some confidence out there today as well, which is good to see.
Charlie goes wide into the pocket. The ball goes out of bounds deep into that forward pocket down the northern end. Just saw Darcy Byrne-Jones there linking up. The great man's been elevated into the leadership group, and we reflected the other day. I was speaking to Ken, 2016 you know, he debuted and he was quiet as anything. Remember he kicked that goal at Adelaide Oval, Timmy, the cut eye.
That's true, yep.
As the ball goes out of bounds just in front of us. Tell us about Darcy and his elevation to the leadership group.
Yeah, very well deserved for Darcy. Obviously had a superb year last year, but he's really grown. As you said, he's a quiet fella off the field, but once he gets out there, he's actually one of the loudest. So he shows great leadership, and he'll really take his game to another level, I think, with that role.
Oh, come on.
Big Charlie Clunk's one. He started off in a blaze of glory and has been very solid since. And going back, probably just for his first, Tim?
Yes.
Yeah, because he had a lot of the ball when he was playing for the Whites in that first deep. Sorry, up the ground.
More up the ground in that first half. Seems a little deeper this term.
So a little bit swirly, but he should kick this.
There's no wind at all, Dan.
No, okay. I was just trying to give him an out, just in case he misses it, just for the fans at home.
Straight through the middle, mate.
Straight through the middle. Well, there's a little bit of breeze. A waft, a zephyr. Dixon's first, and the black team kick away. They now lead by 57 points, 13-6-84 to the Whites, 4-3. 27. So what's the program look like now, Trent, over the next sort of couple of weeks? You had that really solid camp week a week or so ago where you got a lot of Ks in it. Does it become a little bit more in season like now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're training or changing to in season mode next week.
Yep.
So that'll be good. Pre-season's done. As you said, we had a solid week last week, so it's good to get back into that mode and game mode now, which we love.
Pre-COVID, you were able to go to Noosa a couple of times for the camp. Where'd you go this year? Victor Harbour?
We're here at Alberton.
What? Even
yes, no. All seriousness,
really,
it was here.
We really are saving money. This is
where else would you rather be?
Yeah, well, that's true. Did you sleep in the change rooms? What was the story?
We didn't get that far, but I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
We've got a new sauna built in as well, so
that
would have been a nice little setup overnight.
Yeah. Great. A Boke. I think that's part of the contract. They've got to do that.
They do. They do.
Seen that before.
Yeah.
Wax a little bit. Yeah.
Waxing. Yeah. The business partners as well as football partners.
Boke snaps his first.
He does.
And
nice little gift from Robbie.
14-6-9 to 4-3-27. But just talk us through that week. That was a major load week in terms of running.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the hardest, to be honest, I've done in my career. So we did get a few Ks out in the track and also a lot of game sims. So I think that's shown today, but also off the field as well. A few connection activities. We had a bit of cricket. It was the
I saw that
2020 backyard cricket.
Who ended up winning
which
that?
was good fun.
Bokey's team, didn't they?
Yeah, I'd had enough by that stage.
Bokey, Todd Marshall, Hamish.
weren't interested in the result.
All the good players were making runs, and I wasn't making any. So I'd had enough. I'd cracked it.
It
was all good fun.
Are you a left-handed batter?
A right-handed batter.
Oh, okay. You'd be a hard hitter. you would just go cow shot.
Well, that was the thing. The pitch was on a tennis court, so we couldn't really hit it over the fence, or you were out. So it was more for the little blokes that like to noodle them around. So
a bit more defence.
I didn't like that at all.
Nah.
The little busy cricketers.
Sort of John O'Well's type.
Yeah. Little
innings. Yep.
Little busy cricketers. So Toddy Marshall's got this one for Port Black. He'll shoot from just inside 50 on a 45-degree angle in front of that Bob Quinn stand. So looking very impressive now the Blacks. Leans back, looks really good. Straight through the centre. That goal umpire
Nice finish.
did not move a muscle. So the Blacks well and truly on top here as we approach three-quarter time. It's 15-6-96 to the White, 4-3-27. Of course, a big thanks to our streaming partners today, RAA, who are wonderful supporters of the football club.
Member partner,
exactly right. Along with our joint majors, of course, and all our partners, but our joint majors, GFG, MG, and we're going to grab some
Timmy
KFC. And Timmy G.
Yeah,
Timmy G. Exactly right.
Beautifully done,
with
Daniel.
some KFC on the way home too, Timmy,
Absolutely.
which is the most important thing.
Oh, yes.
So Lice it up against Ladham's interesting here. Trent, obviously, they'd lock horns a lot at training as well.
Yeah, no, they have been. I think Hazy's been running through there as well. They've had some good competition. I think we might see Big Scotty change over to the Blacks a bit later. I think that might be the plan. So that just shows how competitive they are.
You've been
up there.
You've been sneaking a look at the the clipboards, have you?
I've been sitting next to the coaches, so I've just got a nice little.
Well, that's one way to
background.
keep your name up in lights. Isn't it?
Trying to make some moves as well.
Good work.
Have you stood? Have you had any one-on-ones with Ollie Lord at training?
Yeah, I have. He's actually pretty strong for a first-year player. He reads it well. He's actually pretty tough to match up on. So yeah, it's good to see for the future.
Height looks good.
Yep, good, nice size, nice build. He'll only get stronger as well.
Yeah.
When he feels out a bit.
Beautiful kick from Marshall, just one step on the left to aim on to Bonner, and the black team move forward. Butters, he'll try and take on Bergman here. He stops. Props looking for some options. Well done, but Bergman. So the statue, we've spoken about that with the coaches and CD. How do you go with the statue rule, the stand? Is that something to adapt to quickly?
Definitely not. You're going to have to, else there's a big penalty in 50 metres. So it is tough because natural instincts, you want to move across the mark and stop the corridor kick. So it has been tough, but as I said, we're going to have to get used to it pretty quick, else it's a big penalty.